This show is sponsored by Distinctive Promo. Promotion that delivers. Go to www.distinctivepromo.com. Also by Freestyle Live Radio. This is where freestyle lives. Download the app or listen via iHeartRadio.
From cassette decks to club nights, this is where the rhythm lives. You're tuned in to Freestylin, Love Letters and Drum Machines, with your host, John Parker.
Back in the day when the beat made us move, in the glow of the night we found our groove. Heartbreaking harmony, spinning like fate. This is the sound that we still celebrate. Freestylin', where the love never fades. Letters in a verse, the drum serenade. Memories in motion, spinning the scene on love letters and drum machines. Interviews, stories, hits, and dreams. You know what time it is? It's Freestylin' with John Parker. Legends and lovers, the beat goes on. From club floors to the airwaves, we carry the song. From TKA to Sweet Sensations Flame, this is the place, you know the name. Freestylin', where the love never fades. Letters in a verse, the drum serenade. Plug into the passion, you know what it means. It's love letters and drum machines.
All right, welcome to the first edition of Freestylin' Love Letters and Drum Machines. My name is John Parker. Started this little deal this week with our good friend that'll be on in a little bit. Speedy is going to join us. He's our first guest. I just want to let you know why I started this podcast. I've done podcasts before. I've done freestyle podcasts before. You can catch those on YouTube. I think they're still up there. Interviewed artists like Judy Torres and Brenda K. Starr, Raquel. And I like to bring the artists back in time and just talk a little bit about what their journey was about. And I think it's important for everyone to learn. And I think a lot of great tidbits about songs that they created and the behind the scenes aspects of things, which is really cool. So we're going to do some of that with some of the artists that come on the show in the coming weeks. The other part that I really wanted to do is teach people who don't understand the music business today how to kind of, do a little bit better in it, because I see a lot of mistakes being made out there. And we'll talk about that in upcoming shows. I do have a little segment later. We'll go over a distribution company you guys definitely should be checking out, much cheaper than some other places. But that's what the show is going to be about. You'll be able to catch replays on YouTube. I'm not sure if Twitch is going to continue to have the old shows on there, but YouTube will definitely have them. And so we'll do that. And that's basically what the show is going to be about. This week we have Speedy. Next week we have, Joe Zangi. We've got upcoming shows coming on. It's going to be Nyasia and Deneen and some other great artists. But right now I'm just going to bring on the main man, the man of the hour, Mr. Speedy is going to join us. And there he is. So there's half of his head. What's going on, Speedy?
How you been, John?
Good. It's been like 2 weeks since I seen you last.
Yeah.
We did the other podcast together.
Did the other podcast.
That was good. What have you been up to? What's going on with your life?
Just doing like I told you, I do a podcast with Luis Jimenez.
Uh-huh.
For people that don't know, Luis Jimenez is the only one man that ever beat Howard Stern in the ratings for like 3
That's
years
amazing.
straight. Yeah, El Vacilón, when he had the biggest Latin show in the country at one point.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah,
And,
he was nationally syndicated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We were in Dallas, Chicago, LA, Florida. We had about 11 or 12 markets.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very, very
I
cool.
still do a podcast with him, and I host some of the shows, the big shows. Like for example, we got one coming October 25th is at in Westchester County Center. That's
Okay, New York.
yeah, in New York, and then we have in Atlantic City we have November 15th. That's with Vito Bruno.
Vito, love Vito. He
Yeah,
puts on a great show.
that's my manager, by the way, for the last I want to say over 30.
Yeah, it's probably been about that long. Sure.
Yeah, he's become like my dad. He
Yeah,
really has. He's a good
yeah,
man.
he's a very good man. I saw him last at the Beatstock event in New York in Jones Beach. That was cool to catch up with him for a couple seconds. I'm doing good. I'm kind of semi-retired now. I work projects. I'm a music consultant, so I just work projects I want to work. I work with some labels. I work with some big artists. I've worked on projects for Sabrina Carpenter, and some other big name artists.
Wow.
And yeah. So it's been fun. But I do like giving back, and I always have liked doing that. Because I think that as a community, we really need to grow together. And I think that I see a lot of things cracking here, and it's like, it's weird to me.
A lot of negativity, man. When music is not made for negativity, music is made for fun, to enjoy, to bring people together,
Yeah, you've got to go out there and just enjoy yourself. If you're an artist, you have to entertain. I think, I've seen artists get up on stage and it looks like they just rolled out of bed, and that's not really cool. I think you got to put on a show. You know what I mean? People are paying their hard-earned dollars, and I love the people that get out there and really do their thing. Like, it's just.
But I know where you're coming from, John. I've seen artists that walk up there and you're like, what the hell?
Right. So it's like, dress the part, do your thing, do your 20 minutes, get out there, kick butt, and make people happy they saw you. The other thing that I like to do. Good.
Listen, man. If like when I was doing radio, John, I would do appearances that were, normal radio appearances were 2 hours. I stayed there 3.5 hours, 4 hours. I didn't care, because if they took the time to listen to me, when they could have been listening to God knows Howard Stern or anybody else on that dial, but they took the time to listen to me, then I got to give them all the time they deserve. I'm sorry. That's just my philosophy.
Oh, 100%. I think that freestyle artists are very good about that. Like, they'll come over to like when I go, I don't go to that many shows anymore. I'll go to a couple. Like, I'll go to the one that they do out at the Brookhaven Amphitheater. And, and they have the gate there, and some of the artists will come over and sign autographs and people taking pictures. I think that's really what it's all about. People, just want to say, hey, I met this one, I met that one. And I think it's important to do that, so continue to, if you're an artist and you're coming up, make sure you stay out there and sign those autographs. Look, I used to tour with some of Raquel's stuff when, she was early on. I signed her to her first record deal at Robbins, and we used to do shows, and she would stick around and sign autographs and party with the crowd afterwards and do, whatever it took to really kind of make it happen, And I think that, there were times when I had to pull her out of the club. I'm like, you can't stay here all night. We got to go, So she'd get mad at me, but, that's life. We move on. But yeah, no, and I think that's kind of some of the stuff that I want to do. There's a girl that, I see online a lot, and I see her, she's on Deneen and Asia's podcast, Gigi. And she makes a lot of costumes for some of the artists and stuff.
Gigi Couture.
Yes. I'd love to have her on the show.
She's actually we're working on her making me a jersey for Atlantic City.
Perfect. Because she gets it. Her outfits are stylish. They're exciting. They're brilliantly, vibrant. And, you got to look like a star if you want to be treated like one.
She is. She's amazing.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. And that's really what I've been up to. I put out I still do a chart, but it's more for the EDM dance crowd.
Right.
Of the radio. I compile the radio stations from across the country that play that music and compile a chart. It goes out to over 1,000 people in the industry. So that's, that keeps me busy. And then, I wanted to do a podcast, and I was like, what, I can really give back to people. And freestyle's always been in my blood, as you know. I mean, we came up together in college, and that's what we did.
I want to go into that real quick, because
we're going to take a lot of time on that one, so we can start now.
I owe you, and I tell you all the time, there wouldn't be no Speedy without John Parker. John Parker gave me my first shot on the radio, even though he was mad at somebody. He was trying to get evil with somebody. That's why he put me on. But we're not going to get into that one.
Well,
And
you
it
you were
worked out.
persistent, right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
worked out. You were a personality. You'd come into the station, and everybody knew who you are. Everyone wanted to talk to Speedy, and you were funny. And look, that's if you have that kind of personality, you belong in entertainment. You belong on the radio at the time, and
You know what it is,
and
John? I've always been a I started doing the morning announcements in high school. We built the first radio station at my high school, Eastern District, which is Grand Street campus now.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, we used to go to the Radio Shack, who doesn't exist anymore, and we would
yeah,
get all the extra parts that they weren't using or whatever, and they would give it to us, and we ended up making a couple of turntables, and we used to go in the lunchroom and play mixtapes, and I'd be the DJ, and then I'd be upstairs, like the lunch we'll be serving will be meatloaf. Lunch ticket number 305 will be used today.
right. Which is great. So let's go back to that. Like, when did you first realize that radio, in particular radio, was something you wanted to get into, or did you realize you wanted to be in show business first, or is it just
I
radio
kinda,
first?
you know what, John? I wanted to be a sportscaster. I
Okay.
really did. Me and you talk baseball and talk different sports. I actually, wanted to be a sportscaster. So there's my dad and my mom told me that I would
What?
use it and try to narrate like the baseball games or whatever. And my dad would hit me with a shoe, so I would shut up. So, and I was such a big Howard Cosell fan, John. I didn't miss a Monday
Yeah.
night football or a fight or anything.
Or boxing,
so
yeah.
I wanted to do sports, and to this day, I got to do it. I got to work at ESPN Deportes before they went to Mexico. I worked with them for a year.
Yeah, that's great.
I did afternoon drive with two other guys, and we made it happen.
Is there any other kind of opportunities in sports, like in New York, like that anymore?
You know what? Well, ESPN Deportes was great, but they said everything was going too high here in the United States, and they moved it to Mexico. They moved all their studios and everything to Mexico.
Right. Yeah, that's like they do what they got to do, but you would figure like in New York, there's got to be like the Mets need broadcasters and
Right. Well, I used to work with the Spanish broadcast. It's funny. I worked with both Mets broadcasters. One was production director at X96.3, and the other one was my partner on the radio on ESPN Deportes.
Okay, that's cool. I know Joe Solkowitz does some of the games, the audio for some of the games. I don't know if he still does it, but he's got into doing that a lot, which is cool. He used to be the program director of Hot 103 and Hot 97.
Then he brought up the other dance station in Brooklyn also. What was it?
Pulse 87. Yeah, and he still does that online. I think he has a station upstate that broadcasts it as well, like simulcast his thing. So that's cool. So yeah, that's good. So that was kind of the dream.
And to this day, me and John are still the biggest Met fans there is. I'm still a sports fanatic to the day. Honestly, John, that's what kept me out of a lot of trouble. Running home to see because people don't realize in our heyday there was only Channel 2, Channel 9, 11, 5.
Yeah, 4 and 7. And then you had the Spanish stations on 41 and 47.
47, correct.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then the Knicks were only on Channel 9. The Knicks and Mets were only on Channel 9. And
right.
then you would see a national basketball game on Saturdays on Channel 2, and it was tape delayed.
Yeah. And then you only had one baseball game national, usually on the afternoon on a Saturday.
Do you remember who were the broadcasters, John?
Kurt Gowdy, I think, was one of them.
One of them, right? Joe
Garagiola.
Yep.
Yep, there you go. And Tony played baseball. He was a second baseman for the Yankees.
Second baseman for the Yankees.
Yeah.
See what it would have done? I was a nerd. I was a sports nerd.
I was the same way. I used to collect baseball cards and would memorize the stats on the back and everything. And I used to make believe, like I'd set up a little field and make believe they were playing when I was little and just kind of broadcast those games, things like that. So yeah, no, I get it. It was something we did. We didn't have many options for
Yeah, and
entertainment
I
when we
got
were
to
kids.
broadcast Little League games. When we
Right.
were in Kingsborough.
Yeah, we used to sit on the roof at Kings Bay.
Right.
That was funny. No, was it Kings Bay? No, that was Kings
Yeah,
Bay had the
it was
booth.
Kingsbury.
What was the other one? There was the one on Knapp Street. I forgot which
I,
one that
I,
was.
I did the one with the booth.
Okay, so yeah, that was Kings Bay then, I think.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So now you go to college, right? You have this dream of becoming something, a broadcaster in some way. What did you go to school for? What did you start off for at Kingsborough?
Broadcast management.
You did? Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
started off as
broadcast
business.
management. It was
Yeah.
always, even on my graduation ring, I have the antenna for the radio antenna. It's on my high school ring.
Yeah.
Remember, you were allowed to put stuff. Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, that's what I graduated with a broadcasting degree. But yeah, I started off there for business because that was just kind of where my head was at. And
Right.
How did you get to the radio station?
I kept asking around because that's what I mainly wanted to do. I kept asking around, and then I went, and I ran into, you're gonna laugh, Jonathan Broth, who people know as Geronimo.
Yeah, he runs the dance stations for Sirius XM.
Right. So Geronimo was in the lunchroom, and I kind of walked up to him because I saw him going up and down. I said, "How do I sign up to be on the radio station, or how do I?" And he introduced me to Mike Martinez. Tank.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. He's the one who taught me how to mix.
Right. So Mike Martinez, and what was the name? What was her name, John? The Puerto Rican girl.
Sheila?
No.
Crystal?
Little dark skin or with the curly hair. Oh, Jesus. She was doing afternoon.
Princess. Is it Princess?
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Princess. I'm trying to remember her name.
Yeah, I think her real name was Crystal.
Right. Yeah. So she and Mike were always behind me, and I was always up at the radio station trying to, then Steve Castellano came up, and
that was the end of the radio station.
Right. And then I had Cliff Hesse. As one of my professors.
Yeah.
And Michael Opapara.
Yeah, who wrote news for you took his news class, right? Yeah.
10 wins. So and then I just started, and then Tracy Clordy came up, which people don't know. Tracy Clordy became one of the biggest PDs in
the country.
In the country.
Yep, she was at Hot 97 for. I'm gonna tell you
what, John. That school had legends go through those
Yeah. Look, right before. Yeah, right before, and that's one of the reasons why I want to find someone that does film documentaries, for them to film a documentary about that station, because what happened there is insane. Like we have, I mean, there was a little bit before our time. There's a Radio Hall of Famer that went to that school.
Yeah,
Chick
Kelly from Z100.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I was friends with him, and it's kind of like all the legends and all the people that got jobs out of that school and became. Think about it, because a lot of people didn't leave New York, and it's one of the reasons I was never a great DJ. I was on all the time, but I knew that I didn't have the voice for it or the passion to do it all the time.
You know what? You were funny doing mornings. You were pretty good doing mornings. You really were doing mornings.
Yeah, dude. They took a survey once of just our listening area, and our morning show finished 7th, like out of all the stations in the city. It was insane, But it was
because that. We reached what did we reach, John? Maybe
So we were at, listen to this, and again, you probably have more power on your boombox than our station had. We were a 10-watt radio station, and yet we had 1% of the New York City listening audience. Think about that.
People don't realize we got voted best college radio station. Remember, John, for the dance music?
All the time, like. We were in Arbitron. We wouldn't even subscribe. We were in Arbitron because we were drawing so many listeners. I think that the magic of when we were there was that nobody was playing dance music at the time. and we signed on. We switched from a pop station, which is odd for a college station to begin with, that they would be not segmented into you go on and play whatever you want to play. We
Right.
had a real program that you had to follow, and the log and all that stuff. And so it was a pop station that became a dance station about 3 months before Hot 103 signed on.
Yes.
And so we kind of got the jump on them. And the people that went to that school all became, for the most part, became pretty big in the industry. Like Mickey Garcia went to the school. He would bring us records out of the studio,
You bring
to
the
play.
reel to reels. John,
Yeah,
you want to? You want me to tell you? You remember a quick story?
sure, go ahead.
You remember? You remember when he did a C-Bank, I Won't Stop Loving You, and
Yeah.
we were broadcasting live from the Bay Club,
Bay Club.
the Bay Club,
Uh-huh.
and Mickey for some reason or another, she's performing. I think she was performing. Or
She
something.
was, and he forgot his mic was on because he was DJing.
Right. And he goes up there, he goes, "That's my bitch, that's my radio, that's my record." I was like, "Oh, damn."
And it went out over the air, and
Yeah,
back then you couldn't say that.
A
But
few things went over that at that radio station that we shouldn't have said that.
you were kidding. But someone like Ralphie Marino, who wound up on Hot 97 as well, was there. George Williams, who was on Kiss and BLS.
BLS, he was the judge.
Yeah,
The judge on BLS.
right.
Yeah,
It's
he
just
ended up doing Afternoon Drive.
There you go. Stanley Evans, again, another guy that was just before our time. He was more with Kid Kelly. He's on the morning show at Sirius XM. He's been there for like 20 years. There's just so many people that come out of that program.
From Quiet Storm. Lenny Green.
Lenny Green, yeah.
Lenny Green from the Quiet Storm on BLS.
Yeah, Spanky McFarland, who God rest his soul too. He was, he was Z100.
Yeah, Z100 for a minute.
Yeah. So there were just so many people out of that program. And the funny thing is, it was a student-run program.
Andy Shane, who became one of the biggest music directors in the business.
He's one of the few people, maybe the only person, that became the music director and APD at not just KTU, but also Z100.
Z100, yes.
Z100 first and then KTU.
Yep.
And he was, again, to this day, he's a friend. But yeah, it's just so many great people that came out of that place. So it's a wonderful place.
Incredible, man. It's just like a hall of fame of broadcasters.
Yeah, and and people went into different fields too. Like I said, I went into radio records because I didn't want to move around. Back then, if you wanted to be a radio DJ, you had to move to like Texas, or somewhere far away and make $10.
I got
You're
lucky.
one of the few got lucky, yeah.
Yeah, because of the fact that Ralphie Marino and George Williams got me my gig as a hot patroller at Hot 97, and they used to for some reason or another, Broadway Bill Lee and Greg Thunder took a liking to me, and they would put me on the air without permission from anybody. They just thought I was so funny that, like, what are you doing today, Speedy? Well, I'm at this event, and what do they have there? I said, well, pots and pans and all, and they thought that was hysterical, that it was so natural.
Right.
So then from there, I started doing the call-ins. Hey, what's going on, mi gente? It's Noel from the Hot Patrol, and if you find me at Jones Beach, I'm gonna give you that Hot 97 Summer Beach bag loaded with Sony prizes or whatever the case may be. So I started doing that. And again, Broadway and Thunder thought I was hysterical, and they would change my voice. They would, they would play with it, whatever.
Mess around with it, yeah. No, but that's cool. That's how you get your start. A lot of people start at that level.
And then it was. I ended up from there. I ended up producing the Saturday Night Dance Party with Glenn Fisher every Saturday. I would do it from every club. I'd be the one, making sure it was on the air, making sure that we were on the air and stuff like that, and do the broadcasts and all that type of stuff. So I kept, moving up.
Yeah, you work your way up the ladder, because those broadcasts are hard. Number one, you're out all night. Number two is you got to make that link work from a club where there's, it's like it could be a nightmare.
And people
I've
don't
seen so many
realize,
times.
and if people don't realize, it was actual phone lines. In those days, it was actual
Yeah.
phone lines that you had to use. It
To
wasn't
plug
like,
into, yeah.
yeah, it wasn't like, nowadays you just turn on your computer and whatever, and you just connect to their Wi-Fi and you're on.
Yeah,
Hell
no,
no. They had
things were much harder.
those clubs spent $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 putting in phone lines just to have the dance party.
Right, and on top of that, then they had to pay a sponsorship fee to have you guys come out and do it.
Right.
Because it was a big business back then. But again, you're putting it over the air like that, and those clubs get packed because everyone wants to be part of the party. Back then. It's a shame that nightlife isn't like that anymore.
Oh, they'll never, John. They'll never be like in Long Island. There'll never be another Metro 700, another Zachary's, another
New York 1018 or any of that.
Palladium, Hot Throbs, Jesus, to name a few, Roseland. You know what, John? It was funny because in that era there was you can go to a club every night.
Oh yeah, you can go to several clubs.
You like on Tuesdays, everybody knew it was New Jersey, Chicago's, and Lodi. Eugene had the biggest night.
Yeah, Franco Amello used to spin there. Mm-hmm.
On a Tuesday night. Sometimes on Mondays I go to Bedrocks, this place of Bedrocks in Manhattan, downtown, with another person who used to work with him, Madonna Donna.
Okay, yeah, sure.
With Madonna Donna, right. So there was always a spot to go to during that era. And
right.
We get back, John, on a Monday, you're like, the fuck is everybody
right.
Does anybody work?
Does anybody work anymore?
Anybody work? Are they going to work tomorrow morning?
Right.
Nobody
cared, weekends, forget it. People be doing the zombie walk home on, Sunday afternoon because they've been out since Friday night.
I would go sometimes go to eat we'll get into it later, but with the Notorious Big, we go eat Chinese food at 6 a.m. and we'll hop on Canal.
Yeah. Yep. This is crazy, dude.
Well, everybody had a favorite diner that we'll go to afterwards.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was the big thing, for the club goers in Brooklyn, they would just like after they go to the clubs in Brooklyn, they just go to the diner and it would be like Club Vegas diner afterwards because everyone's there, from everywhere.
Yeah. And the disco fries were flying everywhere.
Oh, you know it. Good times. But yeah, that was, kind of back then. Nowadays things definitely have changed. Do you remember like the first concert that you got to MC? Like what was the first big show that you did?
Wow. I didn't MC him, but I got hit with a cake by Vito Bruno and Joel Sockowitz in front of 50,000 people at Orchard Beach.
Oh, really?
And it was my birthday.
That's funny.
For some reason or another, Joel and Vito took such a liking to me that through them, I met Joey Carvello, all these guys, all these big time,
record guys,
all them guys from the record industry, Aldo Marin and all these guys.
Yeah.
So, but the first big concert I did, wow, it's a great question. Probably the first comeback freestyle show we did.
Okay.
Was it 2001, I want to say, at USA? I still have the flyer to that. Was it?
Okay.
Or was I already?
You just met.
Well, I did the anniversaries. I did the anniversaries for KTU. Those were big.
Remember
Street, and those concerts like that. But wow. Probably my biggest one was a little club that I used to get $25 from B91. That's why I got my first car.
The Plaza Suite. The Plaza Suite.
Yeah.
I used to have to go there and collect money because they would do educational grants with us.
Yeah.
So I would go there and just pick up the money and leave.
Yeah, 25. I used to get like $50.
That's funny.
For 2 hours, 3 hours, and I was happy. Because
Yeah, look, it's a night out. Paid for your drinks.
that paid for my roller roast.
There you go, even better. You just mentioned Joey Carvello. I just happen to have his book right here. I don't know if you've read it. Have you read this, the Boston
The
Hustle
History of
yet?
Hustle? No, I gotta read it.
Pick it up. It's Joey's like life in when he was a Boston DJ back in the disco days.
I got lost with him in London.
Did you?
Yeah.
It used to crack me up because we'd be on the road sometime at conventions, and all the record pros be eating lunch or whatever, and he would be like, "What's your room?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you my room." He'd ask someone else. Okay, they'd give him his room. He'd go, "All right, I got the check," and then everyone would leave, and he'd write the person's name in the room and put the bill on it.
There were some good dudes, man, in that era, man. You had the
Fun, yeah.
Buddies, you had the Joey Carvellos, you had John Straza, you had Izzy Sanchez.
Yeah.
Jesus. Corey, your old partner Corey.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Eddie O'Loughlin.
Yep. Eddie Rivera.
Eddie Rivera.
Was alive in those days. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of them, you know. Claudia Cassetta was at Profile. She was great. She's the first person. Well, Judy was signed to Jackie Jack Records, but she got it to Profile. You know, she bought the records for Profile. You know, she had a tremendous year.
I think Trilogy was also signed to Jackie Jack Records.
Yep.
The
Originally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I have those two records somewhere in the collection. I remember, like, Mickey took me up because Mickey, again, was one of our DJs, and he would bring us new music out of the studio. And he says, "There's a girl you got to see up here." Because at the time, I think I was the music director of the station. Come with me to the Bronx. I'm like, the Bronx? I don't want to go to the Bronx. And it's like, yeah, do it. So
John wasn't
me and Darren Wayne
well with that crowd, right, John? You wasn't going to mix very well with that crowd.
No, it was a record pool party. So I was like, all right, I'll come. Me and Darren Wayne went up there.
Darren Wayne.
Yep. And we go up there, and it's, you know, he wanted to introduce me to Judy Torres, and it was one of her first shows.
I remember.
So, you know, it's pretty...
I remember Mickey bringing up Fantasy Girl before anybody had it.
Yeah, I remember he would bring some artists up. Like the one that I remember the most that stood out was Diamond Eyes. Like, he was working on her record.
Right, because I think she did I Won't Stop Loving You.
Yeah, well, I think that was the one. Yeah. So, you know, he would bring those records up with Elvin. Elvin would come up sometimes, and Elvin would do edits. And I used to love watching that Reel to Reel go with all those edits and splices and stuff go by. That was cool stuff. Great guys. I mean, it was great times too. So now when you look back at your career, is there a favorite place that you like to perform? Like, you know, on stage, is there a crowd that really gets amped up all the time?
Well, I tell you, man, New Jersey is always, you know, amped up when we do the beat stocks and all that. That's always an amazing crowd. But in our era, John, there was no bigger crowd than Palladium.
Yeah.
There was no bigger crowd than Palladium, man. It was just like that place was magical. It was just like, it was, you know, you could look to the side and you saw Grace Jones hanging out. You saw somebody, who else would be hanging out there? God, all these soap opera stars, everybody would hang out at Palladium.
Yeah.
Palladium and the China Club.
Right. The China Club was big.
China Club on Monday night with Eddie. Remember who was the DJ? Eddie Arroyo.
Eddie Arroyo was. Okay, yeah. What's he doing? Sports memorabilia still and doing that kind of stuff? Yeah. Yeah. He used to come up and see Izzy a lot.
He still sent me all my Mets memorabilia.
That's great. That's fun.
But to me, yeah, that was a great question. But to me, my favorite, I gotta be. You know what? Brooklyn's always been real good to me because of the fact that I'm from Brooklyn. So that was always, you know, I was always home, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm still always home, but Long Island was always great. You know what it is, John? That freestyle has a niche, like in New Jersey, Long Island, you know, between the Guidos and the Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? It's always had a big.
It's always been that way.
Big response.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean the music itself has, its spots across the country. For us though here, it's Long
Chicago,
Island, it's
yeah, we did Chicago. That place
Chicago's nuts.
was
Yeah,
nuts, and I did Canada, and
Canada's big too.
I didn't. I was not trying to be funny, but they, for some reason or another, they thought I was like the Puerto Rican Elvis for some reason because Vito Bruno's hysterical laughing, taking pictures because people are grabbing onto me, trying to grab my jacket and all this, and he's hysterical in the corner, like, what the fuck is going on here? They had to get security to walk me to my room and all this. And Vito's like, oh, hell no. What is going on here? What is going on?
Right.
But they love their freestyle in Canada. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. I used to do a lot of work with Kathy Phillips from up there.
Like,
She was a
they love
freestyle artist and stuff.
Susie,
Yeah.
you know, they
Yeah, I
love
think there's another other girl, Lisa, is up there. She used to contact me a lot with her records.
That's a big, Puerto Rico's always been a big market. We just did a
Yep.
show in Puerto Rico.
Oh, you did? When was
Yeah,
that?
first time we ever had 15 artists in on one stage in Puerto Rico. Went well. It was
That's
a great
good.
time. That was the most nerve-wracking one, John,
Oh, that's your second home,
because of the fact that like a couple of my cousins and my middle brother and other people never saw me do my thing on stage. So I was just like, at one point I was like, I've always had a pretty big mouth, and I was like really like frozen.
Yeah, look, that happens, especially it's such a big thing for your family, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's kind of cool you got to do that. How's the island doing? Is it really coming back? I know that, they keep getting hit with those hurricanes and
Yeah,
storms
it's
and
coming
bad
back.
there.
Right now they're getting hit with about 2 or 3 inches of rain right now. So that they're getting, but everything seems all right. I have my
Good.
home over there,
Yeah, I do.
and
Mhm.
whenever you, like I always tell you, you're more than welcome anytime.
Mhm.
But that's my getaway, John. When I want to get away from,
Everything, right?
yep,
Would you consider that your favorite, vacation spot?
yeah,
Okay.
without a doubt,
So
because people don't realize I went to school in Puerto Rico third, fifth, seventh, and ninth grade because my mom and my dad always wanted me to learn Spanish and English, which
okay.
ended up benefiting my career because I was one of the few bilingual DJs in New York that was able to work. Actually, one of maybe three, I want to say, that's worked all the markets: dance,
Right.
Spanish, hip hop,
Hip-hop,
and
mhm.
sports.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a four-tool player.
4-2 player, yeah, man, but when I go to Puerto Rico, John, I still see my old neighbors and my friends, and we get together and reminisce about the old days and stuff like that. And when I do a little bit of comedy, it's basically from all the stuff that I went through when I was in Puerto Rico and when I was younger and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Look, that's the best thing is you're talking your experience, making people laugh. So it's,
you know what,
it's
John?
realistic.
Everybody asks me this question: do you get mad when people bust your chops on stage, or when they used to bust your chops on the radio, or whatever? I was like, my bank account didn't mind.
That's right. It's all part of the act. You know what I
Or
mean?
part of the
As
act. Listen,
as
man,
long as they ain't doing it off stage when no one's paying me, I'm good.
John. Listen, everybody has to play a role.
Yes.
Like on a team, everybody has a role. I've
Hmm.
I've always been for people. I don't know how many people are gonna remember this, but Abbott and Costello was one of the biggest duos ever.
Yep.
Costello knew his role. His role
Yes.
was to be the funny guy, the punch guy.
Yep.
I'm the
Yeah.
same way, John.
Yeah. Abbott was the straight guy.
Yep, I got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, as long as I can make people laugh, that's all that matters to me, man. Make
That,
people
that's
happy. That's it. I
Isn't
don't.
that really what it's about? It's making people smile and making people's day better.
You know how many people used to tell me, Speedy, thank you for making my morning drive better. You made me laugh, and uh,
Yeah.
I remember, John. I'll tell you a quick story. I remember this little girl had 3 surgeries on her leg, and she went to I forgot which event was it, but she waited for me to the end of the night with a teddy bear, and she says, "I
Oh,
want you to have this because um I want him to take away the pain the way you took away the pain from me, because every time I listened to you, my pain went away. And you know me, John, pretty well. You know, I was
Yeah.
already in tears. I was in the
Right.
corner already in tears. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that stuff like that means the world.
No, 100%. Because, again, you've taken people out of their ordinary day, nonsense or their pain, and you've made them be able to have a few moments to smile, which a lot of people don't have that time anymore to do. And so it's so important for people to be able to have people that can do that for them, make them laugh and
I
smile.
still play Santa Claus for the kids in the hospital. I collect toys for kids. With Cynthia, we collect toys for
great.
kids to take to the hospitals. You know what, John? If you ain't got 5 minutes to smile and to say, how hard is it just to smile and say, hey, have a great day?
Yep.
Like,
No, 100%.
Like, John, the little old lady today, she was trying to park. I ran in the middle of the street, stopped the traffic so she could park. And she was just like, thank you. You didn't have to do that. I was like, yes, I do. You're my neighbor. You know, with all the nonsense that's going on now,
why can't we treat people better?
why can't you just be happy, man? Listen, man.
Right. Exactly.
Am I going to sit here and say we don't get in a bad mood once in a while? We all do.
Oh, 100%. 100%. What's up, Tim? Tim Spinning Shomer. He says you have a good heart.
My brother from yo, that's a legend. That's a
100%. And you want to talk about right Chicago freestyle?
One of the nicest and most amazing dudes. When I got to Chicago, he could tell you he was the one person I wanted to hang out with and meet, because I remember when I used to deal with Eric Bradley, B96, when B96 was around, and all them guys. And I always said I always wanted to meet Tim Shomer.
Yeah.
Tim was amazing. When I tell you the stuff he does with the turntables, you gotta bow and say, yo, that's the man right there.
Oh, 100%. And you can watch him. He live streams, and it's just, the shows are great. I watch them when I can catch them.
I records all the time.
There you go.
We just did the freestyle cruise last year together.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What record? All right. So, what records would you call him up and request?
La Girls. Remember?
I want to know so I can. I want to know so I can play it on my show.
No more. Okay. What else? I used to love Tender Heart, Leather and Lace, Trilogy. Name of the Game was another big record that I used to love. Red Hot by Trilogy. I really and I love, you know what, John? All the artists are my family. You know that. All the guys are my.
Look, you guys do all these shows and travel, and it's a tight knit community.
Right, but I still love the original records. Some of the more original stuff, man. I just like Come Get My Love, TKA. Jesus, I'm still a big fan, even though at the time it wasn't considered a freestyle record. Name of the Game, Dan Hartman.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, a lot of great records.
Dun dun. I just, there's certain records that I could sit there and what else was another record that I used to enjoy a lot was Clear Touch, Fallen Angel.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tim went on Twitch and got hit with 4 commercials before he could even get in.
Wow.
Sorry.
So yeah, and that's another thing, John. I've gotten to work with legends like Tim Shomer, Glenn Fisher, who I adore, who opened the doors for me with a lot of, a lot of things. I used to carry his records. And produce a Saturday Night Dance Party.
I always tell the story that he yells at me. Glenn Fisher yelled at me once because he is such a big Judy Torres fan that I forgot what record it was when I was working at Profile, and I didn't get it to him on a test pressing first. and he was just like
Well,
livid.
John, that's another thing.
I went and hand delivered the record to him as soon as I got another one.
That's another thing that people don't realize nowadays. Radio wars were real.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Radio wars were real
Yeah.
those days. People don't realize, you know, you had the Z100s, you had the Hot 103, Hot 97, you know.
Because they were all independently owned, so it wasn't, you weren't protecting stations. You were all fighting for an audience, you know.
What, my brother? We used to be out on those vans, out and about every day.
Yeah, I've got in Long Island. There's a group, a cluster here out in Farmingdale, and whenever I go over there. They've got 4 vans all decked out in the station stuff, and they just sit there in the parking lot. It's like they don't even drive them around anymore. Like
it's just like I remember I don't know if you remember, John. We used to have the world's largest studio, which is the world's largest radio was Big Beat.
Yeah.
With the inflatable radio that we put speakers in
Yeah.
it and it would play music, and then you have Rolling Thunder, which is the big red one that looked like a radio. And that was an actual mobile studio that you can do the shows from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you had that phone line.
Yeah. And John, the wars were real. The
Oh,
wars
100%.
were real. I remember when we had the New Kids on the Block and on all those concerts, we had to be the first ones there to get the better spot, to give away the T-shirts, to throw out
Oh yeah.
this and that.
100%.
But you know, I honestly think that's missing in radio now.
Well, it's a different game now, because with ownership owning so many stations in a market, they're protecting their interests, and they line the stations up as to how they want it to be that quarter. And you know, they'll put their money into the big one, so they get the big ratings on that one, and they won't play the same records on 2 stations that they used to be able to, because they want to protect an audience. It's a different game now. But radio wars were real. I was on the record side of a few of those things where people.
You guys caught it bad.
We would get, because
they would tell you, if your
I want that artist
on my radio station first before he goes on any other radio station, or I won't play your records or shit. It was ugly in those days.
Yeah, I had one programmer who was out here on Long Island who wanted Lasgo for a show, and we had already promised it to KTU or Z100, I forgot which one, and it was like the same day, and we couldn't say no to Z100 or KTU. We already promised them. The guy literally would get a record from me and send it back. Don't send these to me anymore, like without even opening it. He would just return to sender. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
I can't help you.
It was real, those radio wars.
Yeah, it was funny, but it wasn't funny because it was business.
It was great radio, man. You know
where it was great radio? Yeah, in Tampa, when they had the Power Pig and they were going after people making those crazy commercials.
Yeah,
that was great radio.
And John, radio wasn't so squeaky clean like we got to be now. Squeaky clean. You can't say this because you're gonna offend that one. You're gonna offend this guy or whatever. If you say this, if you say that. In those days, like Luis, me, when I did Spanish radio, bro, the stuff we did.
Oh yeah, you were allowed to get away with a lot as long as you didn't cross the really hard lines. We
probably would have been arrested. Well, we almost did get arrested when we did an April Fool's prank, and we said that the Holland Tunnel was underwater, that is getting underwater, that is getting flooded, and literally people were backing out of the Holland Tunnel, and people were like literally, John, running out of that car outside. Yeah. We had the Marines, we had the Navy, we had the police, we had everybody, just like, and they were like,
yeah, you over here, you can't be doing that.
Exactly. But, and I'm gonna tell you a quick secret: the radio station had a separate bank account for $1 million just to pay fines. They didn't care because we were bringing in. That morning show was bringing in $20 to $25 million a year. So
there's a part of doing business. They just put it aside. Like UPS, when they park and get tickets, it's like they know because it's part of doing business. Like not going to park a car around the corner, so that
Yeah, they were like, bad boy. Yeah. And in the other ear, they're like, good job. Keep doing
Right. Yeah, exactly. You keep bringing those ratings in, you're good. You're set. Oh, that's fantastic. So now you do how many shows do you think you do a year? I mean, you're pretty much working every like 3 out of the 4 weekends a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but two.
2? All right, so
Yeah.
two weekends out of the month, which is good. Do you have
Plus,
any
I
kind
do a
of
lot
a
of charity work.
right, which is good. I like that. It's important, especially as we get older, to do that kind of stuff.
Like,
Um,
and John, I'll tell you I've never charged a penny. And they've gone to
that's
pay me for my gas or whatnot. I was like, no. Do me a
right.
favor. Whatever you were gonna give me or whatever, just donate it or
Donate it back, right? Yeah,
use it for other things.
yeah, yeah. That's very nice, and that's what more people I wish did. Um, but during your shows, like before you go on, do you have any pre-show routines that you follow? Is there any, superstitious things you
Uh
do?
I do the cross like the Catholics do, and then
Okay,
I point up to my dad.
right.
I point up and I'm like, yo, we're gonna do this again, Pop. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. And today's his birthday, right? In heaven, heavenly
He would have
birthday.
been 96.
That's amazing.
And tomorrow my
That's
queen is 86.
mom's gonna be 86. Oh, that's fantastic. Happy birthday to mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're both, I'm sure, super proud of you and the man you've become for sure.
You know what, John? We had a deal for a reality show with me and my mom and the whole radio station. Yeah, they were trying to
Really?
find me. Yeah, they were gonna find. They were calling him Mama's Boy.
What happened? Did you film any of it or?
Yeah, we at the time VH1 wanted it and a few things, but it was, and I'll say it, we still have it around. We still might shop it, but it was ahead of its time.
Yeah, that's reality shows became real big. You know,
Yeah,
that would have been cool to have one for sure. Now
so
there was
that was nice. My mom got to be a part of it, and every time like I will act up on the radio on the Spanish station, like if I wasn't in the mood or whatever, Louis would call my mom live on the air. Listen, Mrs. Ruiz, your son is acting up.
get him in line.
What do we do?
Right.
And the people loved it because my mom would just go. All you heard was beep, 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 beep.
Yep. Oh, that's fantastic. There was a time, this must have been like around the early 2000s, where you decided or someone decided for you to give you a shot as an artist,
That was
a
actually
recording artist.
98.
Was it 98? Okay. So
98.
it was 98. Okay. And how
And
many
I tell you why it
records
was
did you put
98,
out?
man. I'll tell you why it was 98. Because my dad passed away in 98. And it was called Speedy's Anthem, and it was Endorphin Records. That was Vito Bruno's
Vito's
label.
label.
Right.
Right.
So like I said, before we go into that, I gotta give that man so much love and so much that's my dad. That's my second dad, man. That man's done so much for me, man. That I'll say the street way. I'll take a bullet for him. I will stand in front of a train for him. I will do anything for that man.
Yeah, no, he's a really good guy. I really appreciate, the time that I've gotten to work with him, which wasn't much, but when we do shows with, the stations or whatever he was involved with, always so easy to work with. If we needed something, we got it done as long as it wasn't ridiculously.
He was the one that got me hooked on Sambuca.
Really? That makes sense, though.
But I haven't drank. I mean, I'll have a glass of wine, or if that may be a beer when I'm in Puerto Rico with the guys. But to drink
Right.
like I used to be 25 years.
No, that's good. Yeah, I stopped after college. I was like, I'll have a drink once a year or something if I'm out with friends, but that's it.
Yeah, and smoking, I used to smoke cigarettes. I quit that in 2009.
That's good. Yeah, that's one habit I'm glad I never picked up.
So, it was supposed to be like a parody record. Going back to the record, it was supposed to be like a cute parody record or whatever. And it ended up being that I ended up opening in Madison Square Garden for Ricky Martin. It was on the bill. It was me, Ricky Martin, Destiny's Child, and sung by Four.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
Well-
I actually ended up opening for them, and it was, I want to say 2 weeks or a month after Pop passed.
Wow, not
Yeah.
that close.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I'm a collector of things, and I save a lot of things.
Oh, no, you
And
don't. No, you don't.
it just happened. I happened to pull out, the record that you had given me, and we're gonna give a little listen to it here and see what people think. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Here we go.
Dale, papi, dale.
Can't unmute
Ay,
you. You're
qué
muted. We'll talk after.
rico.
Voy para allá, llegué, el papi chulo de la radio, Speedy. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Let's move, let's shake, let's move, let's shake, let's move, let's shake. Let's start this party off. Boricua, dominicano, colombiano, cubano, latina, morena, italiana, y una vez más, Boricua.
There you go. Speedy's Anthem.
Yep.
You can actually still get that. I think on iTunes. It's still up.
Yeah, it's still up on iTunes. Then I did another single called Boom,
Boom. Right.
and I got a little surprise. I'm actually going to the studio with a surprise. I can't say who it is yet, but it's
Okay.
somebody huge. you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going into the studio, and it's gonna be like his voice with my voice is gonna be something funny, but also cool.
Oh, that's good. Very cool. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
That should be a lot of fun.
I just do it with love, John. I just want to make people laugh and dance. That's all I want.
Look, that back then you could use that in the clubs or whatever. That was cool.
Yeah.
And you used it like I said, you used it to your advantage. You got to go and open for Ricky Martin and them on big stages for it. So that's fantastic. Nothing wrong with that.
I almost got killed in Long Island because
Why?
we were gonna promote. We were promoting the record or whatever, right? And remember when La Vida Loca was so big?
Yeah.
So Vito got me leather pants, dressed me up as Ricky Martin, had the dance,
Oh no.
had the dancers come out like the way Ricky's dancers came out, everything just like Ricky. And as a matter of fact, Geronimo was on stage bringing me out.
Oh
And,
really?
And they didn't say what it was. We have a surprise. And John, when they saw the dancers come on, they heard pum 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 pum. But yo, the whole you just went bananas. And you see like the shadow, and they're thinking is Ricky Martin is here. Here I come out.
People stop throwing things.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness, that's
That
great.
was crazy. Yeah, that was one of the big stunts we did.
All right, so well, I can't wait to hear the new one. I've noticed recently you've got a lot of sponsors that you're posting videos for, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's great. It's a great way to help those sponsors reach your audience, which is huge. So continue to do that. But I
Yeah.
also noticed that you're putting out a lot of workout kind of video of you boxing in the gym and stuff. What
Yes.
brought that on?
I'm diabetic. So
Oh, okay. Was it
So
just
I wanna-
diagnosed?
no, I've been diagnosed for a minute, but John, sometimes we fall back and we forget a little bit, to do our routines, and and the doctor tells you, yo, my brother, got to get back. So I just want to make sure that I serve as an example. Listen, man, if I can get one person to the gym or two people to the gym and to take care of themselves, to go to the doctor and make sure they're good, then I did my job.
Yep, 100%. No, that's good.
You
And
know,
I've got to listen to your advice too, because I'm pre-diabetic, probably going to be diagnosed as diabetic soon, and I need to, shape myself up. To be honest with you.
you know what, John? It takes an hour to go to the gym, work out,
Yeah,
do the right thing, go to the doctor, make sure you go to the doctor, make sure
yeah,
you take
that
care
I
of
do.
yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. You got to. You've got one life to live, and the one thing that we can't get back is time. You don't want to lose it or give it away before you have to. We know too many people that have gone before their time, and
John, hell yeah. It's funny you say time because you were with me last week. What was it, a month ago? Beatstock.
yeah, about a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet one of my idols, which was Boy
Bo-
George.
Boy George, yeah,
And they say you never want to meet your whatever your idols. He
yeah.
was so incredible. He was so.
Was he?
Oh my God! I tell you another story that he did, because you were talking about time, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't do time in Long Island. So when he left, and he didn't do it in, again, I forgot to remind them, in
Jersey.
Jersey. So what he did was, when he was doing a performance in London, his road manager, he had his road manager call me and Zoom me so I could hear him do time, and he said, "I didn't forget you."
Wow,
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
that was amazing. That was just like wow, wow.
That's look again, a guy at his level, doesn't have to do that, but he did, and that just kind of shows, what a cool guy he is. That's amazing.
And he signed my doll, and we spoke to both days, and he's a really, really down to earth dude.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. I want to do something real quick, especially because I know you're doing some shows coming up. So we're going to do right now the freestyle concert happenings. Let me just bring this up. All right, so this is the portion of the show where I'm going to pick a couple shows that I see on social media, or if you want to send me some stuff, the information is right down there, so we can use it in the show. Info@freestylin.net. Upcoming concerts this weekend, I've got 3 for you. Friday, September 26th at 8 p.m., Power 78.7 presents the Freestyle Jam with Lizette Melendez. That's going to be at the Warehouse in Amityville. That's on Long Island. You have to say on Long Island, or else people get mad that you say in Long Island. So
Okay.
It's on Long Island. Doors are at 8. DJ MDW is going to be spinning the tunes there.
Good guy.
Saturday, yeah, he is. Saturday, September 27th, with a showtime of 9 p.m. It's the Tampa Bay Freestyle Concert 2 with Chrissy Ais. I hope I'm saying that right. I always mispronounce her
Wow,
name.
one of my favorite records, John.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Love Desire.
Yep. It's fantastic. We just talked about that. Giggles, and then along with And More. That's going to be hosted by Larry V. Also on Saturday, the Dream Girl Cynthia and Dom G present the Freestyle Takeover in Carteret, New Jersey.
I'll be there. I'll be hanging out there.
You going to be hanging out there? Nice. Yeah. Doors are at 5:30. It's an early show, which is nice, especially as we get older. Showtime's at 7. That's going to be hosted by Dom G and Sal Abatello. Their performances by Cynthia, TKA, Noel, Suave, The Cover Girls, Lizette Melendez, and Sammy Zone. DJ sets by Frankie Cutlass, White Boy KYS, and Blazer One, as well as DJ Lucho. And that's going to be this week's highlighted freestyle concert happenings. All right, so that takes care of that part of this show there. I would like to do little segments now. I'm going to try and incorporate some of those. I have one called the Principal's Boombox, where I'm going to give some tips to people, as I come up with them. So that'll be cool. We're going to do a hot or not segment. So if you want to, be considered for that, again, use that email address.
We used to do that at Hot 97.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one, I changed it to love it or hate it.
A lot of records were broken into the business through Hot or Not.
100%, because if you get those records on especially the radio when they used to do it, you could get 3-4 nights in a row. People started to take notice of it. Especially programming. So that was always cool. Just want to do a couple more quick questions for you.
Sure.
We already discussed your favorite vacation spot. You love Puerto Rico. You have your home there, which is great. Is there any other places that you like to go?
I actually like Miami a lot.
Yeah.
Miami,
okay.
Because Miami is like Puerto Rico weather with a New York lifestyle.
Yeah. and an up in the nose up in the air attitude.
Well,
Go down Ocean Drive.
Yeah. But
it is what it is.
One of the biggest radio stations that came out of there was Power 96.
Yep.
Miami.
Massive. Yeah.
That broke a lot. That was the one that actually started the Miami sound.
Yes, they did, with the bass and freestyle and all that stuff.
Right.
My friend DJ Zog still works there. He's in the morning shows now.
Laz was a good friend.
Laz was there. Yeah. No, that was good times. What would you say your favorite meal is?
Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a big Chinese food guy.
Okay.
I love me some Chinese food. Oh, some pork, some shrimp fried rice, some fried shrimps, and maybe a little lobster Cantonese. But I love Chinese food.
Any spot you like, the best, or you like going to more than if you had a choice?
There's a place called Red Bull on I forgot the street on it in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. That's
Okay.
pretty good. I used to be, I still am once in a while when I cheat. A big White Castle do too.
I can't eat those anymore. I can't. I used to be able to eat so many of those, and now I hit 3, and I'm like, oh God, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, you're driving in your car. A song comes on. You have to crank it up. What song is that?
Wow. Barry White, Let the Music Play.
Nice one. Very good.
Yeah.
Very
Let
cool.
the music play.
Yeah.
I just want to dance. And probably Luther Vandross, Never Too Much.
Oh, that's a great song. Love that song.
That puts me like when you hear that.
Yep. It just kicks right into groove.
Yep.
Fantastic. What are you most looking forward to in the next 3 months?
Probably the big show at Atlantic City, which is October 25th. November 15th.
November 15th?
In Atlantic City.
Who's on that bill, do you know?
Oh, you got Rob Bass, you got TKA, you got Jungle Brothers, you got Judy, you got George, Cindy, Johnny O, Suave, Raquel. I think Joe Zangi. It's a big lineup.
Yeah, no, and that's a show they do every year, right?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. What's your favorite memory from our college days?
Probably but getting thrown up against my car in the parking lot and JJ Jones and all these guys playing wrestling. Like we used to play wrestling all the time, jumping from the top of the hood of my car and elbowing me or something like that. And
JJ Jones, who is now known as Geronimo.
Right. So him, the late Gil Bassetti, our old friend, always had me crying, laughing. But probably the teamwork and the fun we used to have. It's some of my greatest moments, man. Because sometimes, like if I did the midnight to 6 in the morning, because people don't realize that was the only college radio station at the time that was doing 24 hours. We were doing 24 hours.
Yeah, we had people coming in, and some people, it was funny because there were some people that, because we had so many people at times that wanted to be on the air there, that you'd have a shift from midnight to 3 a.m, and then someone would have to come in from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and just do 3 hours, you know?
Yeah.
So, those are crazy times, man. I love that station still.
I miss my brother Brian O'Neill. Oh
Yeah, he was funny.
Brian was so funny, incredibly funny, man. And he was another one that would always throw me on the. He was a big dude, so he'd throw me on the floor and do a super fly, snooker drop, and all this. Just like, but you know what, John? I wouldn't trade those days for anything in the world. Not for nothing in the world.
No, look, it was fun growing up in those times. We had some great, amazing memories to share. You know, that's good. What's coming up for you, shows wise? You said you have the one in November. Anything in October?
Yeah, I have Westchester County Center, October 25th, and that's going to be that's a combination. That's Franz Jolie, Cover Girls, George. I want to say Judy. It's another big, huge show. You know,
fantastic.
Yeah, I got that with the legendary one, Sal Abatello.
Yeah, I want to have Sal on here too. I've got to reach out to him.
You got to have Sal. You got to have a guy like Vito Bruno who.
Yeah, Vito would do it definitely.
Who's literally in John Belushi's book.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he used to. What club did Vito used to run? He ran
1018.
1018.
Palladium, but he had an after hour called at the beginning, AM PM.
Right, which is the name of his production company.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd love to have him on. Speedy. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Any last words, Speedy?
Once again, I got to say thank you to you, John. I owe you so much. I appreciate you. I respect you. I adore you. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. And I thank you a million zillion times for giving me the opportunity and even taking a shot with me. That means, and I'll take that to the end of my day.
No, and I appreciate you always saying it, and I always tell you the same thing. It was your talent that did it, dude. You know, without your talent, none of that matters.
You gave me the shot.
I opened a door for you, and you opened up everything else. And
I'll always be grateful. And whenever you need me, know I'm always gonna be there. I'm a phone call away, brother.
100%. We got to catch some Met games next year.
Not a problem, puppy.
All right, I love you, bro. We're gonna close this out now. Next week we're gonna have Joe Zangi on. Be sure to check out that show. Again, it's on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Facebook, my personal page. It's on YouTube, which is where this is going to live, and then also on Twitch. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Speedy.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're still here?
Maybe do it again sometime?
It's over.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our show.
Go home.
And now...
the show's over.
The party's over!
Will you leave immediately, please?
I want to see motion, movement. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Get the point? Good.
Now get